Hi, my name is TJ VandenHeuvel, Vice President of Market Development here at SignComp. Sadly, due to the COVID crisis, many of our industry events and trade shows have been canceled, keeping us from meeting in person. With uncertainty to when we might be able to resume some of these events and trade shows, SignComp has decided to bring our trade show to you in a virtual format. Although this virtual trade show will not allow us to meet in person, it does offer some valuable advantages that are not normally available in our regular trade show. We hope you agree. If you're up for a new trade show experience on SignComp products, please join me for the next 30 minutes. Let's get started. Okay, a couple disclaimers right off the bat. You might notice some background noise as we're filming this during shop hours, and you might see a little bit of the shop up above in the background over there. Apologize about that. It's just the nature of doing the virtual show in our shop. As years past, SignComp has two booths that are 10 foot wide by 30 foot long. They're not a mirror image of each other, although we've got the profile board on both sides. That'll be the common thing, as always, with this, and the advantage of the profile boards is to really get up close and see each profile and talk about all of its features and benefits with that. But within that space of the 10 foot by 30 foot on each side, it really helps us expand the story. And on this side, I'll actually refer to it as Part A, and the other side I'll refer to as Part B, and we'll start here on A first. And what happens in this 30 foot long space is down at this end, we can actually go over SignComp, standard 1-part, 2-part, commercial, rigid face, flex face applications, and kind of distinguish the major difference that you get with those product families down there. Down at the other end, we've got architectural post and panel and its hingeable cabinets and applications. A lot of examples over here to discuss ways to use architectural. Now the other side, we've done something a little different this year. We have 4 categories. I'll reference 3 of them as kind of general application spaces that you might commonly build signage for. And we'd like to show maybe how SignComp works into any one of those. Any product line can be a mix into that. And then there's a final category. Down at this end, we'll actually talk about financial applications a little bit and how SignComp might intermix into that. The next one is going to be transportation and healthcare. And there's some products that really may gravitate more towards transportation and healthcare, especially when we talk multi-tenant. And over here, we've got hospitality. That's going to be your hotels, your restaurants, retail spaces. Again, not pigeonholing any one product into one of the areas, because any one could cross over and go into many of these applications. And there is a final category, and we call it custom services. And we've, over the years, offered many custom profiles for programs that you might be doing out there, a special project. But we're really going to kind of focus on cutting, custom kerf cutting and custom miter cutting. So those are going to be some of the things that we'll go over this year in our 2 10 foot by 30 foot booths. And to get started, we'll head down this way. Okay, so down at this end, we're able to start bringing in some floor samples into the space and kind of helping differentiate the differences between some of the product lines. And that's what I want to focus on first, is we're going to kind of go through SignComp, standard 1-part, 2-part, and commercial product line here. Going from slide cabinets to hinge cabinets with slide faces in them. So to get down to the features and benefits of these, this is where I talked about some of the advantages of the virtual trade show. I'm actually able to integrate some PowerPoint slides that are going to actually help us better see those, instead of me walking around and trying to open these up without you being here to be up close to see what we're talking about. I think that's going to make more sense as we go through the product lines. One other thing is I'm actually going to jump back into this after we talk about just the cabinets. I think it's important to kind of just keep those separate at first, but then I'm going to jump back into the standard product line and the commercial product line, because there's other products that actually go along with these, and I don't want to lose sight of those. So let's start with what's the difference in really the cabinets from SignComp, standard 1-part, 2-part, to commercial hingeable.
Okay, here we are. We're going to kind of break down the SignComp standard product and commercial product as it relates to sign cabinets. I'm going to be able to use my cursor here a little bit to kind of help reference an area that I might be talking about. And some of the other areas are already pre-highlighted. For instance, here, we can really, as an overview, look at SignComp as a light-duty cabinet. Standard's going to be your medium-duty cabinets, and commercial is going to be your heavy-duty cabinets. When we look at SignComp in this light-duty cabinets, it's a slide cabinet for rigid faces. It's an affordable, lightweight, easy-to-assemble option, and it works good for applications like these. Smaller wall mounts and monument signs. Over here to the right, as I said, I'd highlight a few things. SignComp has its own divider system, and you can see how well it integrates with the retainer of the SignComp product line. But now we're going to jump up and we're going to get into standard 1-part, 2-part, and this is a medium duty, and it is still a slide face cabinet over here. It's going to be unique that it's added a 1-part to this, where SignComp was just a 2-part. So that means that 3 sides of the cabinet are going to have a integrated retainer already included into it. So you don't have to fasten that all the way around, which makes it more structural. Plus the standard extrusions are a little bit thicker, and that makes them more structural. And that gets us to our medium duty. It's got a few more configurations, as you can see over here on the left, to add to it. And it's even got some extended retainers over here. But once you go and you add these, you're jumping right back to kind of the SignComp process of adding a retainer all the way around on all 4 sides of the cabinet. Because over here you can see you got actually 3 smooth sides to the cabinet, where SignComp had all 4 with exposed fasteners. Now these cabinets work well in applications that go up a little bit bigger in size, where we're getting to small to large sizes, whether it be wall mount, monument, and here we've even included pylon signs, which we didn't suggest over in SignComp. Another thing to notice right here, again, even standard has its own divider, which integrates well with the retainer system that it's got into it. Again, making these a system. Okay, now we jump over into commercial. And this is going to be our heavy duty cabinet system with retainers that are separate. And this is going to be brought together by an integral hinge. So actually we're moving up to a hinge service access along with a removable cover on the side to still slide it. And one other way is just to completely remove the retainer from the cabinet, which is very doable even in the field out there. As you can see, you got quite a few configurations when you make the retainers and all the bodies up together right here. We've got many very narrow and very wide solutions with this. But let me say that the retainers with these, this is the industry's only 1-part, 2-part retainer system. So just like over in standard 1-part, 2-part, what that means are these retainers have 3 sides that are just 1 piece, and the one end is a 2-piece that has a removable cover. Another thing to notice here is that both the 1.5" and the 2 1/4 have their own divider, so that's going to mate up very well with the retainer that you've chosen for this. But these again are going to be those heavy duty hinge retainer, hinge cabinet systems. A couple examples of those. Over on the left, I've got 2 plastic or polycarbonate faces, and the Webster bank would actually be using the 1.5" for, it's a little bit smaller application. But the BB&T is a big embossed polycarbonate pan face up there, and that's using the 2 1/4. Also integrated in this, they're using the cast radius corners with this configuration. Now over to the right are affixed aluminum faces. And with a smaller monument sign, the Silver Creek has got the 1.5" retainer system here. And again, this is an applied aluminum face, and look at how beautiful that mates up when it comes over and joins with our radius ends that we have as well. But the IHOP Bennigan's right here, look at how large that sign is, and that is an aluminum face on here with stud-mounted channel letters onto it. So a big, heavyweight face, and that's why the 2 1/4 probably works better into this. And in all these applications, they need to be hinged open, or that's how they're serviced instead of sliding a face open for service. Now, the commercial product line is also where we step up and we get into flex face applications. And SignComp offers the absolute best flex face tensioning system on the planet out there. We've got global partners with this all over. And here, there's a little bit difference where it integrates in a framed version for heavy-duty flex faces and a frameless version, very popular in the industry out there. One other thing about the frame version up here, it actually has its own divider. We call it a dual divider, and it can actually separate. It allows you to stop flex face and go to a slide-in acrylic, or you can go flex face to flex face. It is the only dual divider on the planet out there. So it's another unique feature of the SignComp flex face system. Let's kind of show you what those framed or frameless ones look like here as some examples. Over on the left, I've got 3 examples: a pylon, a monument, and a wall mount sign, and you can clearly see the framed appearance, but you would never guess. These may look just like solid, rigid faces, but they're actually flex face. And yes, down to the ground in many even programs out there, they would put flex face by pedestrians. Now over on the right, we've actually got the full bleed or the frameless versions as a monument, a wall mount, and a big pylon. Again, one of the big advantages of flex face, especially the full bleed, is this looks like it's an aluminum affixed face up there, but it's flex face, it costs less, it weighs less, and it can light all the way to the full bleed edge. A video demonstration of our flex face system is at a link below in the description of this video.
Okay, I hope that really helped everybody understand the difference between the product line cabinets as we go with econo, standard, and commercial. We're actually going to get into some of that again down in architectural, but it's really important to understand those differences right here with these 3 product lines. But as I said, we wanted to come back and now talk about some of the other products that are going to be into standard product line and some of the other products that are in the commercial product line. So let's go through those.
So again, going back to our standard product line highlighted in the blue right here, we've got a couple Vandal covers over here. We've got a small Vandal cover for light duty and a large Vandal for heavy duty that can actually even integrate gas supports and hide those gas supports when the face is closed out there. Now these can mate very well with the bodies that are in the standard product line, but they can also work well as retros onto an existing cabinet or just angle clip out there. In fact, here's 3 examples, and the one on the left right here is just a retro onto angle clip in the BART bus system. Here in the center, we actually have a multi-door application where the doors are actually hinging open, the hinges on the sides. So much like a door would open, these would open in that orientation. Over here on the right, we have a church sign where the top portion is actually a stationary header, and it's going to be the bottom section that actually has the key lock Vandal system with the hidden gas supports into it that can open there for that. There's many different configurations that you can achieve with our Vandal system that no other system of Vandal covers offers out there. Now, the standard product line is also where you're going to find our channel letter raceways. We actually have 6 different versions for different heights or narrowness of what your channel letter raceways are. These are going to be the tubes that they're going to attach all your channel letters to, and they pass the wires through the inside of this tube and mount the power supplies or ballast inside those. And then, of course, mount them up on the wall. And one of the key features is the mounting clips that are movable and changeable into the SignComp channel letter raceway, making it the best on the market out there. You also got snap frames in our standard product line. We've got 2 different variations of that, and it mounts to 2 different frames. Now, the snap frame, I think everybody understands, is that pop open frame, no tools required. You can actually change the media that would be in there without any tools. That's the advantage of the snap frame. Now I'm going to jump over here to say that we have so many people use our snap frames, and they jump over to our architectural product line because we have some bleed bodies over there that the snap frames mate so well with, whether it be a single face or a double face option. And these are for those narrow line cabinets. You see a lot of them in the airports or retail centers, and just gives that easy access, which is what the snap frame is known for. But we've got some of these narrow line bleed frames or bleed bodies over in architectural that mate with those perfectly. Also, we have wall frames. These are probably the most affordable frame that we would have, and they're anodized just as well as the snap frames were anodized. So they're good to go out of the box. However, here you're going to have screws on either the sides or the top so that you can actually remove that and change the media that would be in there. A couple examples over here on the right of what those might look like on an interior, exterior, even they're used a lot in the on the bus systems out there. And we also have our edgelit products here. We have two different profiles for this. And what's unique inside these profiles is we built in a place where you can integrate a wireway so you can put your LEDs on this. And by removing the cap, you can actually slide out the LEDs without disturbing the acrylic that's up above. Now, one thing in particular about the acrylic or the sandblasted or etched glass that you have up there is we have a provision in here where you're going to drill some holes into the acrylic for these pins to go into. And when we look at the customer service sign over here, what that's going to do is that's going to lock that piece of acrylic in so you can do applications where they can hang from the ceiling and they are not removable. I got a monument sign over here with it mounted to the top, a flag mount, again, hanging from a ceiling. And take a look at this. We had one sign company. They actually used the frame and enclosed it all the way around on all four sides for a unique use with the edgelit. Now we're going to switch over to our commercial product and identify some other products that get away from our cabinets over there, because here we've actually got a couple new profiles for the flex face system. We got a 5-inch double face, and this is actually frame and body together. Of course, it has a cover that would go on the top of it, and I highlight those two right here. It's just a 5-inch narrow body and frame integrated together to populate these with LEDs that no longer need those deep cabinets out there. And down here we've got our new 6-inch version. This is great for, again, a combination of a frame and body together with just a cover that goes over the top of it. Great for just doing single face rectangles, whether it be on walls or up on giant pylon signs. But one of the things that makes it really popular is this one gets kerf cut. And when you make that transition from acrylic to polycarbonate and you're going to these giant flex face letters, logos, and shapes that are going to go all the way up at the top of a high-rise skyscraper, this is the option that works the best there, and we're just doing so much of that these days. One of the other things that we'll notice when we get over in flex face for the commercial is our retro options. So these are the frames that are going to retro onto existing cabinets that are in the field out there. And we have framed versions and frameless versions. And we kind of show what a few of those might look like over here. And obviously you can kerf cut those too, as they did with a Days Inn. Believe it or not, these were old framed embossed polycarbonate faces that actually switched and have gone to full bleed flex faces with kerf cut radius tops. One of the great success stories with a retro in a program out there. Now, one of the other things is super graphics. So we've got a couple wall mount frames out there, and over the years, our best-selling 2104 has come up with a counterpart we call the 2100. And this is a frame system you'll add to the wall so that you can achieve the frameless look on a banner on a wall. And what this does is this gives it its own gusset system in here. So, you know, in stretching these, you need that frame support tubes when they're on the hingeable cabinets and everything. And then sometimes you need that as well to work with this 2104. This is an example, the on the draw picture right here, of a full bleed frameless banner on a wall. But one of the most popular ones for banners, and it's the most affordable out there, it's our wall mount tension frame, because this is just a frame that just mounts to the wall, low profile, 1 inch off a wall. It's got a radius cover, a square cover, and a bevel cover that you can choose as a different look on here, because it's going to have a visible cover. But as we look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers stadium over there, these graphics are 140 foot by 140 foot and been up there and changed for over 10 years. The key thing that I'll mention right here is this is the only flex face system that was approved by the Florida Hurricane Zone Committee to be the banner system on this stadium, and it has never failed them. In this section right here, it's our new soft signage frames. And what's happening right here is we're no longer talking about vinyl PVC banners. We're typically talking about poplin polyester blend graphics. And what they've been doing with the systems out there of soft signage are sewing a silicone edge on every one of the graphics they do on all 4 sides of that, and then it pushes into an aluminum frame. Well, SignComp innovated again here. And what SignComp has done is gotten rid of that sewing of the silicone edge that you buy on every change out. SignComp has rubber grip strips inside their aluminum frames. So what you're going to do is you're going to press that fabric inside the frame, and that frame is, with the rubber grip strips, is going to grip and hold that into place while you go all the way around the frame and get it nice and smooth and flat. And as you can see, some examples over here, just gorgeous of what the beautiful look, what soft signage has with it. And actually, I've got a video here to show you the SignComp front load soft signage system.
Displays are in high demand, and with SignComp front-load soft signage, no sewing or silicone edging is required. Here's how it works. Inside the frame, your fabric is held tight with SignComp's patented grip strips. To make changing out your graphic easy, install the included corner pull tab. When setting up your print, simply add a 1-inch bleed to your graphic and trim your printed graphic to the edge of the image. Now, let's install it. With your fabric centered over the frame, use a tool like a squeegee to push the fabric into the channel while holding it on the opposite side. Working from the center out, continue pushing the fabric into the grip strips. Make sure your squeegee isn't on the outside of the fabric. It needs to be on top of the fabric when you push down. Once your graphic is pushed down on all 4 sides, use your squeegee to tuck in any fabric edges that are still visible. Then, finish by tucking in the corners. This lightweight design can be mounted directly to the wall or suspended with the frame's E-clip.
Now, isn't that beautiful? Finish is absolutely perfect, and there was never any sewing or purchasing of a silicone edge, not only on the first graphic, but every graphic that you'll change out in this frame. Now, let's go back to the architectural section in our booth.
Okay, we're back out into the architectural product area of the trade show booth, and this is probably one of the product lines that's the most creative out there. This product line encompasses bodies, whether they're hingeable or slide bodies out there, different retainers and dividers. But coming along with this that you didn't have with the other ones are the posts. So you got different shapes and styles of posts out there in different sizes, smaller, medium, large sizes. So what this does for you is when you're designing in those big places and spaces like a large airport, university, healthcare campus, or even your local high school, that you can take this componentry and actually do some of the smaller signs with a smaller post, go to some of the secondary signs with some of the medium-sized posts, and then jump up to the larger ones with a large post over here, keeping that consistency as you move through that space and that environment that you're designing for. So we're going to actually jump back to the PowerPoint presentation, because there I can actually kind of really focus in on some of the products that really show you a little bit more of the value that you're going to get with the architectural product line.
Okay, we're going to go through the architectural part of the presentation. And this slide just simply shows that we've already covered EconoComp standard product and commercial product. They're kind of grayed out in here. And we're going to go over just some of the key things that are important to know about the architectural product line. One of the first things is there's still many cabinet choices here as there are in the other product lines. But one of the distinguishing differences in the center column right here, we've got so many more retainers, decorative retainers. If you look over here, we've got soft bullnose edge, a bullnose edge with a reveal into it, and even a bevel frame. And what those do in the design of a cabinet is give it some of that soft edge look out there, or maybe with that reveal, it's a unique place to put a highlight color. But our architectural post and panel system has all the right connections for unlimited design possibilities. So it is going to be in those wayfinding environments that people really gravitate to the architectural product line. There truly are so many combinations of unique possibilities. It all starts out with a post, and we have a series 2, 3, and 4. That's essentially going to mean a 2-inch, 3-inch, and 4-inch. If I go down to the bottom right here, you can see all the different post options that you have available. And we're focusing right now on the adapters. And it's going to be the 1/8-inch adapter, the 1/4-inch, and the 1/2-inch. These are simply adapters for the most common flat stock material that you have to do blade signs or stackable signs out there. So over to the right here, we got a single post with a blade sign. And then over here, we have a double post with stackable messages on top of that. And one of the unique things that you get to do with these signs that have a one of the thickness materials here is do a custom shaped top with it. And that's one of the creative things that you get to do with those types of signs. Now, the next level of this is still staying with the series 2, 3, and 4 posts down here. It's going to be the reveal filler. This plays a multifunctional role. It's the filler down at the bottom of the post, but it's also the connector to any size cabinet that you want to hook it to out there. Obviously, a series 3 hooks to a series 3 body for a nice flush finish, but you could hook a series 3 post to a series 7-inch thick cabinet out there. That's what's very unique and makes us a diverse product. So you can see a lot of the different looks that you'll achieve with that over here. Now the series 7 is going to be a 7-inch thick. We have a fewer posts to select from here, but it also has that same reveal filler that can hook to any 7-inch, 12-inch, 17-inch size cabinet, but it can also go down in size to even some narrower cabinets. So be creative here too. I will show some of the applications that have been used in airport, hanging from the ceiling or as a secondary sign as you come into a healthcare or in an airport, here on the ground or even outside with the triangular post. One of the other very big draws to the architectural product line, it's going to be the insert panel system that's right here. It's a divider system. So there's 2 dividers in the architectural system. You got the 1.25-inch divider, and you've got the insert panel being probably the most popular out there. But both work. It's just going to be depending on the look that you want. And here's kind of a one up against the other. Over here, we've got the frame divider system, or the 1.25-inch, to the frameless, or the insert panel over here. You can kind of see against each other, you know, do you want to see that visible frame or have more of the slat system here? Let's break them down separately here for a minute. So here's some examples that use the frame divider into it. And you can still see some very great design using the exposed framed divider. Now here's the insert panel, and why so many people gravitate towards this. Gives it that frameless look, but yet with a modular twist to it and everything, to do a slat system with a sign, because the divider is technically on the inside of the sign as it encapsulates over that when they slide in. One of the other things with SignComp is at our website, you have access to all of our profiles for your drawings. whether it be just for a single client or a big program client that you're doing work for out there. You've got all of the single profiles with all of its engineering data. You've also got several sectional views, and they'll even show, in many cases, illumination or ballast in there. And it's nothing that we provide, but it's what's being used in many cases. And then you even have the full assembly drawings over here, and those become valuable to your own fabrication and install team. Now let's go back out to side B in our booth.
All right, we've concluded with side A. Now we're moving over to side B of our 10-foot by 30-foot booth, and we're going to start down at the other end with financial. Down here in financial, as we've indicated with the edge lid up at the top of the booth here in this section, we kind of go over some of the products. It's a mixture of products into the financial category out there for sign building, program building out there. Up at the top here, we've got a aluminum routed face that is a hingeable cabinet with channel letters over here off to the side. And what's unique about this is, again, it's a hingeable cabinet, but maybe you got one of those long word bars into it to wrap around a building, 20-foot, 30-foot sections, and you're able to actually hinge open each portion of it separately. But in the middle of here, we've actually got a U-channel divider so that when it's closed, you're not going to get any light leaks with that. Down below that, we've gone to a full bleed flex face system here. And in this case, we're utilizing our cast radius corners. We have those in a 6-inch and a 9-inch, several different configurations, framed, frameless. And it's the frameless being used right here, but in a unique way. Here it's just using them at 2 of the corners. Normally these would be in 4 corners, but you can certainly do 3, 2, 1. The choice is yours. And this also is on a narrow line cabinet and hingeable for service, even though it's a radius. Down below here, we actually show a couple pictures of very recent projects out there in the financial that have used our product, Wells Fargo's being one of those very large ones, and most recently Santander Bank. Down below on the floor right here, we actually have corner samples of each one of these products to kind of give you an inside view or show you how the functionality works with it. And then finally, right up here, even brought in a little architectural. Obviously in financial, they have enter, exit, 24-hour banking, many different kinds of wayfinding that is necessary in those environments too. So obviously post panel is a good fit. Let's move to the next category. Okay, now we're down in the transportation healthcare section, and what happens here a lot that we see are certainly in airports and transportation or bus terminals, whatever the case may be, are these long lineal but suspended ceiling signs, and that works great for any of our sign cabinets out there, especially for hingeability. When these signs get so long, you're no longer able to slide the message out to service the sign. You need that hingeability for it, and we certainly have the retainers for aluminum, acrylic, or flex face in these applications. Down below here, we're actually getting into what's very popular in these environments, divider systems. We have a frame divider system, and we have the insert panel system, the frameless divider system. That's what's showing even right up here, is it's the insert panel from our architectural product line. And kind of a final thing over here in the architectural is we're showing a little cantilevered radius post with a bleed frame sign here, but also the post that attaches to the wall. That comes from our architectural product line. So that's going to kind of complete it here. Down here in hospitality, identified by the blade sign with our edge lit up on top, is the area where we're going to talk about hotel, restaurant, retail environments that are out there. They use so much of a diversity of product out there, but we've got a few areas that we focus on right here. Number one, our soft signage. If you remember, we watched the video over in the commercial section. Beautiful finish, lightweight signs for the interior, illuminated or non-illuminated. We've got a sample right here of that actually even being kerf cut, so you can see some shapes with it. Also, you see a lot snap frame for retail out there. These are going to be the easy change system. No tools required. Somebody can get in and out of these, so to change the menu or whatever it would be. And also a very popular thing is going to be the menu board system or the Vandal system, where here you've got a key lock system where it's going to open up and give access through a key on it. So it's a Vandal type menu system, so they can change the message. And then when they're done, they can shut it back up and lock that for its security. There's a lot of different ways that you can work with the Vandal system. We showed a little bit of that in the presentation. We got a stationary center in here, and we have hinging doors on the side of it. On the back side, we actually have the large one where it's the stationary up above, and it hinges out down below for more of a church setting or something along that line. And we have one more category, that's going to be custom services, and let's move down there. Our final section here is actually identified by the edgelit sign up top, custom services. Over the years, SignComp has helped a lot of designers, brand agents out there achieve a unique look for their signage while we fill the role as providing custom profiles, even cast products to their program that they'll be running year after year. We, in many cases, stock and hold some of those profiles here. That's just one of the additional services we provide. One of the other ones we're really trying to highlight right here is custom cutting. That's going to be custom miter cuts and custom kerf cutting. The TV up here is actually showing several examples of people that used our services for that, and it probably really points out that these are typically flex face signs, and these letters get giant size out there, and they're going to end up all the way at the top of a skyscraper. And so that's one of the reasons they use flex face. It is the great SignComp tension system that helps hold all of that together. Got a couple examples on the board back here, even some smaller samples so that you can pick up and kind of see what's happening with the kerf cutting. But this giant D that we've brought right here is a great example of many different things and the complexity that it can be sometimes. So we've got straight area miter cuts into that. We got a few custom miters, and of course the kerf cutting. But one of the tips and tricks with doing a letter like a D that has a center punch out area is it's important to know that you would stretch the whole face first, and then you come back and cut the fabric out inward around here and then stretch this inside portion after. Now we did a unique thing with this to actually show you. The top half has been cut off with some baffles in here so the light can't come through, because we wanted to show you here's really what it looks like before the flex face goes in and you get the lights on and all the finished area with it. But down below you can see how perfect it is. That flex face is full bleed, not a wrinkle pucker in it. Light is all the way to the edge, and that's some of the great success stories that you get with a SignComp product and SignComp custom services. So please give us a call on your next large letter or logo project. Okay, just one more thing. I've often expressed during many of my presentations to please think of SignComp as the lumberyard. That's truly what we are. We're shapes of aluminum, engineered aluminum, to become a part of a systems approach for signage. And we have product families for that. But we have so many people, whether it's through their drops that they have with it, or they've just ordered new lengths of extrusions, they do some amazing things onto architecture and other places that the extrusions were never meant for, but they certainly fill a need because of the value that you've seen in what they can do for signage. Same thing is happening right here, and in the day and age of COVID, we have the sneeze guards and office partitions out there. Up here are 3 different examples. We've had a group take our soft signage, which is for the material that you see in the office dividers, and they don't have the tool to actually sew in themselves, so with our soft signage, it achieves that need, and they even have the architectural posts to hold that up. In the center right here, we've got our edgelit product, custom angle cut right here to hold this extra thick polycarbonate with the routed arch here for access. And then even over here, just our architectural post with the adapters into it to hold up a sheet of acrylic that also too has the routed arch for access into that. So the final thought is, please keep an open mind. Yes, it's for signage and it's the best available out there, but it can also be used for other things. And thank you so much for joining me on the SignComp virtual trade show. Although I packed a lot into our 30 minutes together, I hope it provided you with some value. If you have any questions on a product I mentioned or a product I did not talk about that interest you, I welcome your emails or phone calls at the contact information below. Thanks again, and hopefully next year we will meet in person in Las Vegas. Until then, stay safe.
Every day the world is inspired, directed, and guided by the signage around us, and we are proud to be one of the largest suppliers in the industry. We understand the importance of the materials and challenges of fabrication, taking into consideration the environment. With acres of storage and thousands of aluminum extrusions and profiles, all in stock, SignComp's ability to meet the needs of the world's sign makers cannot be matched. From lengths of kits, quotes to order processing, packaging and shipping, our expert team will assist you every step of the way. Whether it's a small, artful interior sign or the largest, brightest exterior impression, SignComp ensures a smooth, trouble-free assembly. When a fan proudly gazes at the marquee of their favorite sporting team, or a person relaxes after successfully navigating their way to an appointment, it is because signage has done its job, and we will never stop doing our job, supplying the industry with fast delivery of easy-to-assemble, reliable signage components.